Um, okay. We're waiting for a quorum. We'll wait about 5 minutes. Good evening and welcome to the excuse me, Design Review Commission meeting. This is our regular meeting. Today is Monday, January 26, 2026, and I will be calling the meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. And Vice Chair Salo, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Eileen, will you please do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Zhang? Here. Commissioner Tu?
Commissioner Tu is absent this evening.
And Commissioner Lopez?
Also not present.
And Vice Chair Salo?
Present.
And Chair Romo?
Present. Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and on our online platforms. To prevent any overlap in comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak. Number 1, public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the Design Review Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Design Review Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear as an item on a future agenda. If you wish to address the Design Review Commission, please fill out a speaker card that is available on the back table. Once completed, kindly submit the card to the recording secretary. Speakers will be called upon to the podium one by one. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. Any public comment?
No comment.
Okay. There being no public comment, we move on to our consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion unless a member of the Design Review Commission or the public requests a separate discussion. Commissioner Zhang, would you like to pull any items?
Yes, I do. I don't.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Sela,
No.
have we received any requests from the public?
No.
Okay. Then if I can have a motion, all we have is the approval of the minutes for the October 27th, 2025 Design Review Commission meeting.
I so move.
I will second because Commissioner Vice Chair Salo is absent. So roll call, please.
Commissioner Chang,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salo,
Yes.
and Chair Romo.
Yes. Thank you. Item 3, public hearing.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. The agenda for tonight is available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com and also on the table that is by the entrance. There are 2 public hearing items before the commission this evening. Anyone wishing to speak on an item and are not the project applicant, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording secretary, which is Eileen this evening. And as mentioned, speakers will be called up one by one to the podium. Please write down the number, the item number that you would like to speak on, and speakers will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. For each item this evening, staff will provide a brief summary of the staff report, followed by a presentation or comments from the applicant if there are comments. And then the public hearing will be open. After the public comments, the applicant will be provided the opportunity to rebut or to respond to questions or comments. And prior to the close of the public hearing, the commission may ask questions of the applicant's staff or the city architect. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment will end. For the record, Commissioner Lopez is present at 6:37. And with that, Madam Chair, staff is, that's okay, staff is ready to present item A.
Item A is 360 Pasqual Avenue, planning case number SPR 25-037, site plan review. Applicant is David Luz. And our presentation will be made by Associate Planner Marlon Cervantes.
Thank you. Just a correction on the applicant, it's Jared Davis from Davis Property Development. Thank you, Eileen. Good evening, Chair Romo and members of the Design Review Commission. The public hearing item before you tonight is for a site plan review to allow for the construction of a new second-story addition located at 360 Pasqual Avenue, planning case number SPR 25-037. The subject property measures 11,400 square feet and is currently developed with a 1,481 square foot single-story, single-family home. The property is located at the north end of a cul-de-sac on Pasqual Avenue, north of Sycamore Drive. The project site is zoned R1 for single-family residences and has single-family homes directly to the north, south, and west, and Coolidge Elementary School to the east. The project before you tonight is for a second-story addition. The project proposal includes an 807 square foot addition to the ground floor and a 1,537 square foot second-story addition for a total square footage of 3,825 square feet. The proposed home is consistent with the development standards set forth in the municipal code for the R1 zone, including building height, second-story setbacks, lot coverage, and floor area ratio. The proposed home is designed in a modern farmhouse style and will be clad with composite board siding in a whitewashed cedar finish and a brick veneer wainscot painted in a canvas color. Other features found on the proposed home include black aluminum windows, oak fascia boards, and a Tesla solar roof. The architectural design of the home was reviewed by city staff and the city architect for consistency with the design guidelines for single-family residences. The city architect has recommended the removal of the brick wainscot material from the second-story gable bays as it gives a heavy appearance, but otherwise finds the design to be acceptable. The project site is fully landscaped and proposes to maintain the existing landscaping, including the protection of 2 coast live oak trees along the eastern property line. An arborist report has been provided, including recommended tree protection measures. Protection measures include a tree protection zone around the drip line of each tree, irrigation during construction, and minimal pruning. The arborist report has been provided as attachment D to your report. Tree protection measures have also been included as recommended conditions of approval. Section 153.353 of the San Gabriel Municipal Code requires the submittal of a neighborhood analysis of homes within a 300-foot radius around the project site. The analysis shall identify 1- and 2-story homes in the neighborhood. The neighborhood analysis for the project site identifies 10 properties with 2-story single-family residences within 300-foot radius. The proposed project was also reviewed for consistency with the city's general plan. The general plan land use designation for the subject property is low-density residential. The general plan defines this designation as primarily single-family homes on a single parcel. The proposed project is for the construction of a new second-story addition to an existing single-family residence and is consistent with the general plan designation. The project also meets Community Design Goal 10.3 to create designs that live and breathe with San Gabriel's neighborhoods as they themselves live and breathe. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and was determined to be exempt per guideline section 15303, class 3 for new construction. On January 15th, 2026, a notice regarding the project was sent to properties within a 300-foot radius of the project site. A notice was also posted on the project site. Tonight's meeting agenda was posted at City Hall, the post office, and the public library, and was advertised in the January 15th, 2026 edition of the San Gabriel Sun. With that, staff recommends that the Design Review Commission adopt a resolution of the Design Review Commission of the City of San Gabriel approving planning case number SPR 25-037 for a new second-story addition at 360 Pasqual Avenue, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. That concludes the presentation.
Thank you very much, Marlon. At this time, we'll see if any of the commissioners have any clarifying questions from staff. Commissioner Chen?
Yeah, maybe staff can help me to understand that drip line situation a little bit better. It appears on the plan that shows that the drip line is covering part of the addition or covered a part of this proposed structure. Have you checked on the vertical distance to the drip line towards the addition height? Are we going to have to trim off some of the drip line to get there? I don't know whether the arborist report had addressed to that particular area. I know they have a protection plan, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I don't have that height dimension. Maybe the applicant will have that information.
Okay. All right, that's good. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
I do not know, thank you on it.
Okay,
My thing's not working, so I'll speak loud.
okay.
I'll try anyway.
Vice Chair Salo?
No questions for staff.
Okay. I just have a comment and a quick question. I definitely appreciated having the historic preservation report on the property, and I also thought that the arborist, it was very complete. What I don't see is detailed on the landscaping, even though they say they're going to retain the landscaping. Not everything's going to be retained because there's some vines in front along the porch and low planting currently in front of the house and along the side. So I found, do you have that information?
No, everything that was provided was
Okay.
included.
All right, thank you. Ron, do you have any other questions on this project, comments on this project?
No, Madam Chair, I had the opportunity to review it 3 times, and they've made many of the recommendations that I suggested, so I'm satisfied with it, with the one exception of the wainscot between the lower roof and the upper dormers. I think it should be replaced with horizontal siding and not have this heavy brick on top of the roof. That's all.
All right, thank you. Okay, and the applicant's here?
Yes.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to the presentation?
No, I mean, we were fortunate enough to be assigned to Marlon. I think he did a fantastic job. I will say something briefly, though. Obviously, my name is Jared Davis, and I'm here representing Davis Property Development alongside my wife, Luce Davis, who is our firm's lead designer. We're both here on behalf of the owner of 360 Pasqual. Of the 4 adjacent properties, one is Coolidge Elementary School, 2 are 2-story homes, and the other is a single-story home who is in support of the project. So this fits naturally within that context. The total height of the new design is 24 feet 7 inches, remaining well below the city's maximum height limit for this zone, which is 28 feet. Sustainability has been a major priority for this project. The homeowners have already begun working with Tesla to install a solar roof system, and the plans include energy-efficient windows and doors compliant with Title 24 standards. We are also preserving the site's existing natural assets. As a quick side story, the homeowners fell in love with this property because of those oak trees. And they made it clear to our firm that they would not proceed with this project if those oak trees were at risk of being removed or affected. So one of the first steps we did was bring in Mr. Peter Harnish, who, to my knowledge, has a long-standing relationship with the city. So he designed a very extensive tree protection plan. Both oak trees will remain and are protected by fencing throughout construction, and Peter is adamant that they will not be affected by this new residence. And to answer the question of the height of the canopies, they will be, they're currently 51 feet and 42 feet. We have been very deliberate with this design, not just in architecture, but in community sensitivity. We understand the city's consulting architect preferred horizontal siding for the gable bays. We recently explored that option, and we shared both options of the brick and the siding with our community audience of over 2,000 Instagram followers and with local neighbors. The results were overwhelmingly in favor of keeping the brick with a 73-7 vote to retain it, which comes to 91% in favor of the brick. As per the proposed renderings that we submitted. An important thing to note is that a good amount of our online voters are other industry professionals such as designers, architects, contractors, etc. The homeowners have no intent to sell or profit from this project. They've planted roots here both professionally and personally, and they see this as their forever home. Because of that, we have taken our time. This design has evolved over nearly 2 years, and we've made multiple site visits at different times of the day to study privacy, shadow impacts, and views, including the nearby school. In the end, this project honors the home's original character, adds efficiency and longevity, and enhances the neighborhood's architectural diversity without overpowering it. We believe it is a thoughtful design, one that reflects the values of the community and the city. Just like to say thank you for your time and consideration. Luce and myself will make ourselves available to any questions or concerns.
Great, thank you very much. Commissioner Zhang, do you have questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I just want to clarify a couple of things. You said you have some online voting and they have no problem with the brick veneer that you're proposing on the second floor. Is that the color finished canvas, is it basically white?
Yes.
It's a white color brick.
Yes, sir.
And the ground color is going to be white also?
Proposed to be white as well, yes.
So basically, you blend the ground color into the brick color.
Correct.
And then, and your vertical siding, are they pretty much the same color? You said whitewash cedars. Would they be fairly close to your rendering on
Yes.
page A2.2, that the brick will not stand out, or the siding will be kind of blend together as a similar color, but
Yes,
not
sir,
the
that is
material?
correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
All right. Yeah, I think that if you use some heavy color on the wainscoting, that probably wouldn't be the right thing to do. But since you're working with the similar color, it would probably work. If I hear my first question about the canopy currently is at about 40 to 50 foot high, and your building, by the time it finishes, in the 20s, right?
Yes, sir. Those existing measurements were per the arborist. He made multiple site visits himself at the very start and before we made the official submittal to Marlin. So there was no changes or discrepancies in that regard. And then, yes, we're proposing 24 feet, 7 inches. So it's approximately 20-foot difference.
Even though the drip line is above the roof line of the proposed addition.
Yes, sir. Per the arborist, yes.
And I guess we just have to talk to the arborist and are there any arrangement for the arborist to be on site periodically to protect the tree and the drip line? Because while you're doing your siding finish and your roof finish, I don't know how close are they to the current drip line, whether that would be anything at all to affect the oak trees, the healthiness and the condition of the oak tree.
Yes, sir. So as I was saying, the homeowners are really prioritizing the oak trees. So we're even agreeing to, or proposing, we're not agreeing, we're wanting to do exploratory digs to make sure that the root zones were not impacting those significantly by the new foundation that's going to be required. And if it is, then we'll address that during building. But we are trying to prioritize the oak trees as much as possible.
So how often are you thinking of having your arborist of record to do site observation to make sure the foundation is protected during foundation work, and also when you're doing framing time, that the drip lines are also healthy? What is your proposed schedule? Because I want it on the record to
Sure.
protect those two oak trees.
Yes, sir, I agree. So typically for a project like this, we would do one during foundation, another during framing, and then one towards the end, if not at the end, to make sure that we didn't impede anything, or, that the contractor themselves has followed the plans and the tree protection plan to a T.
Okay. So we'll probably have that on the record
Okay.
that you have agreed to do it one during the foundation excavation line to protect the root system of the existing oak tree. During framing stage and the roofing stage, that the arborist will come out to make sure that the drip line, the branches are not being affected significantly to damage the tree. And then at the completion of the project, they'll come out and make sure that certify the healthiness of the trees. So that will be added to the condition of approval. Okay, thank you very much. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I've got one question. If the arborist said for oak number one, that it appears to have some sort of root fungus.
Sorry. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
That it appears to have some sort of root fungus. It describes a procedure of digging, I guess, around the soil and exposing the soil, I guess, so it can air out and prevent it from, I guess, receiving any water for a period of time. I don't know how long that will be. Is that something that you guys are going to carry out, or is that just a recommendation that you made here?
No, I can promise you the homeowners are prioritizing the oak trees. They will, if the protection plan requires it, they will follow that. They're the ones who are staying on the case about.
I mean, that's a recommendation. It
Sure.
doesn't say that it requires it.
Well,
You're gonna require that.
if it's a requirement of the commission, I will foresee that it happens, yes.
Okay. And then, to that extent, to my concern about, this is the one tree that's gonna be trimmed.
Yes.
So we're starting kind of like with a somewhat ill tree. So I just want to make sure that, one, like my fellow commissioner was saying, that the inspections take place. And also an additional inspection for when the arborist takes, aerates the air, the soil next to the tree, if I can make that a requirement, please. So that we make sure that the tree has the best possible chance.
So right now, on the conditions of approval, which are proposed, the second page of that actually lists number 17, which recommendation as per the tree preservation plan dated June 20th, 2025, and produced by Peter Harnish of Harnish Tree Care. So that is our report that we have here. So that is currently in the conditions. So that's, as long as we approve that,
Yeah, if I may just add the inspections that if they take place by the city,
sure,
that's the iteration of the soil.
yeah. Anything else?
That is all, thank you so much.
Okay. Vice Chair Sela?
Nothing in addition to the questions already about the tree.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then my question is regarding the landscape plan, which is beyond just the trees. So I'm assuming there'll be some plant material that would be taken out and some other plant material that will be added.
Yes,
The
it's-
front end
it's-
and the back.
it's
So
inevitable,
that's
yes.
usually included with our plans.
Okay, we can address that during the plan check stage and make sure there's a detailed landscape plan for the proximity around the home and the ones that would be affected.
So for the city staff, how would that work? I mean, at this point, we either turn it over and have him, the applicant, work with the landscape architect that the city has, and we wouldn't have any say in what would occur at that point. I don't know with any of the calculations that you do for SUSUMP, if any of that is also affected. So I want to get some direction from staff on that.
Yes, Madam Chair, as you've stated, that would be the process, since that was not included in the package, that the applicant will be working with the city's landscape architect to provide that detail. And the city's landscape architect also assists the city in checking the calculations, which the landscape architect is responsible for submitting, along with the landscape plans. So they're the ones that do the calculation, but it is also a part of the city landscape architect's review as well to confirm that the calculations are correct.
All right, that is, those are my only questions and comments. So at this time, we'll have any public comments from people in the audience. We did receive 2 letters. Does everyone on the commission have those 2 letters? You've read them? Okay, are there any other public comment?
There was one online that was submitted by Mr. Joseph in support.
Okay, all right. So it is now 6:59, and the time for public comment is now closed, and we will deliberate amongst ourselves. Commissioner Chen? I'll start with you.
Thank you, Chair. I think we cover most of the concerns that we can gather from the plan and the presentation. It's a very unique lot, the size, the oak trees, and I think what's being proposed is still within the guideline of the city's general plan and also the neighborhood design review guidelines. So I agree with staff's recommendation to approve the project, so I have no issue, with the exception of those additional conditions to protect the 2 oak trees during construction.
I do have another comment to make, but not necessarily based on this one, but I'll also reserve my comments for just in general. Thank you.
Commissioner Sala, I'm Vice Chair Sala.
No, not for the applicant, thank you.
Okay. I actually do want to talk about two things. First of all, our city's architect recommendation to change that from the brick veneer to the horizontal slats. I think that's something that, our city architect has brought up. And so it looks like we kind of know what we want to do with that. And then secondly, is that one of the letters that we received online referred to a concern about the balcony. Now, the balcony, he's saying that he's concerned that it would overlook into their private garden and outdoor family space. That's something that, we do have a couple large tree there, and that's something that we can see in the plans where the trees are there. But I think since this person took the time to write a comment, that is their only concern. They're not against the project. I think we owe it to this individual, Mr. Joseph, to kind of discuss that balcony. Ron, do you have any comments on the balcony and on that?
Sorry. I felt that there's a tree hedge on the backyard property line, and so I didn't think you're going to be able to see beyond the tree hedge, so I didn't really have a concern.
Okay. All right.
I think you may want to emphasize one more time on that wainscoting, the brick wainscoting. Why don't you share that with?
So I have a book called What Not to Build.
Okay.
It's all these houses and their mistakes in design. I provided this to the applicant. And one of the photos in the book, it's stone, not brick, but it talks about that it's not logical to put brick on top of a roof, or stone in this case on top of a roof, because of its heavy appearance, and it looks like unsupported. So that's why I really recommend just changing it to, it helps that it's white, but I would recommend just a horizontal siding to distinguish the sill below the window and just make it look lighter.
And another advantage of that is that when you work with one material on the second floor, when you do the joint, the miter joint or whatever it is, it makes it a lot easier to make it look clean. Once you mix the different material with masonry and siding, when you turn corners, and it's very difficult to make it look right. And I agree with that book, because if I said earlier, if it's not white, it definitely would look awful. But the color kind of blend in. But I think the material, I would strongly suggest the applicant to consider using the suggestion from the city architect.
I have another concern regarding the brick. I've seen enough veneer that pops out. And if it's on the ground floor, it's easier to fix than above that first roof line. I've seen enough of it pop out, single-family homes and in commercial districts. And I think that that's something that, that we should kind of be cognizant of. I think the applicant has shown his, how they interpreted the the horizontal siding, and I think that's something, they raised it up a bit from what their original application shows. So it's higher up above the windows versus kind of that lower portion. So it looks a little heavier on this.
Haven't seen
I'm
it.
going to forward that to you so we can kind of discuss this, because that makes a difference on how, I don't know if you gave them direction on how high?
Well, this is the first I've seen of it. I think this is acceptable, but I also thought just where he had it before with the brick was acceptable as well.
Yeah, I think it would look better at the brick level.
Proportionally, I think it
Yes.
looks better.
That would be my
per
first
the-
choice.
Just change the material from brick to siding.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I would see why people would vote no on that. So,
Yeah, I agree with you.
all right. Any other comments? Yes.
In reference to that, there's a rendering that just got out. That is the rendering, sorry, Norman, what was that? Is that the proposed from the applicant, or?
The one being passed around is a mock-up as recommended by the city architect. Yes. This was drawn by the developer.
Also, the one that's in the packet, this is what the applicant proposed.
That's the proposed design, yes.
I actually didn't draw anything. I was just suggesting to replace the brick with horizontal siding. So this does that, but extends the horizontal siding more than I had considered.
Yeah, so what we were kind of talking about is having the horizontal siding, but having it at the same height that is shown on the original submittal of the brick up on top. Yes, so the siding would be that height instead of going all the way to the top of the windows.
Oh, I see. No, I agree.
Okay.
The applicant has asked if they can address some of the questions that are going around.
So at this time, I would have to reopen the public hearing. It is now 7:08. We'll reopen the public hearing.
Thank you for making that exception. And to address some of the concerns there, the rendering that was passed around was when we received initial revision red lines on the elevations from the city architect, to which he didn't necessarily detail exactly where to do it, but it was significantly higher than we had in our rendering of the brick in our submission packet. And then to touch on the point, yes, you do have to make sure whether it's brick or horizontal siding. If it's two different materials, you can't just end it on a flat facade. It has to go around the corner or somewhere where it can be neatly disposed of. So it's valid points all around, but I just wanted to make sure that we weren't just going to leave it on one facade. We were going to tuck it around in the corner so that it looked uniform with the rest of the property.
Yes, because that was
That was
what,
one of the
what,
questions.
that the
yeah.
original was to have the brick, and the brick would have, so this only replaces where the brick would have been. So it's not on just the front facade. So we are looking at, yes, Commissioner Chang?
If I may have a question for the applicant then. The hardy board, how do you plan on treating the corner?
Sorry, I'm going to defer.
Because
this to
it's
the-
important to work this detail out, because it makes a big difference when they come to the end finish.
One option that we were considering is just a vertical trim board for the corners, for the corner pieces of the house.
Have you considered 45-degree mitering it at the corner? It's a little bit more work, but it looks a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. We were kind of just going off of what was on the corrections, so that showed more of like trim boards and that sort of thing, but we can definitely do the
Yeah, the
minor
trim board
edges.
looks a lot cheap than what, if you would have done it, so that at least the hardy board looks like a true piece of wood when you
Right.
do it that way.
Right.
And it doesn't cost that much more
Yeah.
when you do it right. For a home of this size, that location and the trees, and I would strongly recommend you do the same. Another concern, the reason why we went back and say you really should consider siding rather than this brick veneer. They're so thin, and it's hard to do the brick veneer and make it look right, because it's gonna, when you do a corner, it's just gonna look too cheap to do it right. So if you would accept the recommended condition using siding, miter all the corners, and stay with your same proportion on the horizontal and vertical, I think it will look a lot better at the end.
Well, the only thing I was gonna say for the corners, as far as like brick goes, there are corner pieces. You don't have to miter it.
Yes. So, but then do they look natural finish?
Yeah.
They do, right? The corner piece? Yeah. What is the reason why you don't want to use the same material on the second floor? Having brick veneer sitting on top of a roof.
It was mainly the homeowner. They really loved that look. Originally, we had shown them inspo images, and they really just fell in love with the look of brick on the second story, like partial siding, partial brick is really what they had their hearts set on. They didn't really want the traditional modern farmhouse look. They wanted it a little bit more, like I guess, like elevated, like a little bit European.
And I think it's nice to hear that, but at this body, we take what has been submitted and we try to elevate it a little bit more. And, for it to be in a book about what not to do, by our city architect to list that as a comment, and in the staff report, that's something that we definitely need to pay attention to, because we want something that's going to be good, not only for the neighborhood, but for the homeowner. And I have seen a lot of veneer fall off. And that's, to me, that's the worst thing. It's like, it would be like a missing tooth up there on the second floor. I think it could be hidden easily on the lower with plants and stuff, but if it's on top, everyone's going to see that, and it's going to look like a missing tooth, or several teeth missing, depending on what falls off. And the other thing is that it can also potentially damage the roof as it falls down. So do you have any other additional comments at this time? Anything else to add?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:14. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're talking about the balcony and the siding. So does anyone want to add anything else to the discussion regarding either of those two things?
I'd like to further, because there is no, the landscaping plan, I guess that would have addressed the concerns from the because of the current situation or there, you can see a problem. I want to state that perhaps let that be part of the requirement to either maintain those bushes or whatever is there now, or something comparable to it, so that the neighbors. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
And but I agree more I agree with our city architect for this idea.
Any other questions?
I'm just going to show him the tree.
Yeah, I have a question for Ron, but we'll wait until he
Okay,
gets back.
all right. Okay.
I have a question for the city architect. Aesthetically, I don't have an issue with the masonry, brick or stone on the second floor. However, when I heard your comment about things not to do, my initial reaction had to do with the weight of the material and how the building will settle with that weight on the second floor. But also looking at the material, this is a very thin brick veneer. It's not exactly stone. We can all imagine, stone piled up to the second floor. It's going to settle. It's going to have to be addressed structurally somehow. So based on what you can see of this actual material that they're proposing, do you think the weight of this material would be an issue?
Not physically, just visually,
Okay.
I think so. But Chair Romo had the comment about the brick popping off. Many years ago, my office did a building in Beverly Hills, an office building, and there was the Northridge earthquake, and a lot of bricks popped off the building. So it's a good point.
Yeah, I was at the Americana on Brand as a shopping center one day, and tile fell off, and it luckily didn't hit anybody. It would have killed people,
It
yeah.
happens.
My second comment is, in the arborist report, there are very specific instructions about how the roots are to be pruned, whether they're 1 inch in diameter, 2 inches in diameter. They're very specific about using a clean blade and all that. But as far as the monitoring goes, it's just, the site should be monitored weekly. And what I would request is on the day that they're pruning the roots is to have the arborist present, site observation day. And that would do a lot more than weekly or whatever. It's just the day they're actually pruning the roots. Yeah. Those are all my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's an excellent comment, and what we definitely want to do is to try to preserve these healthy oak trees. We've seen a lot of oak trees in the last few years on projects, and some not in good shape, and others potentially to be removed. So we do also care about oak trees the same as the applicant. So I think that's something we have in common. All right. So at this time, I think it might be appropriate, if we don't have any additional comments, to try to do a motion.
Before we do a motion, would you mind reading off what the conditions were?
All right. Sam, I know you wrote some notes, so I'm going to start, and please help me if I miss anything. So number one, we're looking, I don't know what the motion would be, but we've talked about replacing the brick on the second floor with a horizontal siding. With the trees, we have lots of concerns regarding the trees. We want to make sure that the arborist is present in addition to what's listed in the report when the foundation's being done, the framing, any excavation, pruning of the roots, and I think I have roofing on the roof? No. Okay. So also with the siding on this, we wanted mitered joint on, so that is a cleaner finish. With the landscape plan, we're looking at the option of having the landscape architect for the city work with the applicant in submitting a full plan to meet all city requirements. However, we want the privacy planting of the hedge that currently is in place to remain. We feel that that in combination of the tree canopy will help with privacy issue for the house at 900 Roses. Did I miss anything else?
That covers all the items, Madam Chair.
All right, all right. So,
So I motion.
is there a second?
I'll second the motion with the conditions mentioned.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Zhang,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salem,
Yes, approved.
and Madam Chair Roma.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, now we go on to item B, 1726 Euclid Avenue, planning case number SPR 24-051, site plan review. Applicant is Sharon Zhang. And Samantha, you'll be doing this presentation.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. The subject site is 1726 Euclid Avenue, case number SPR 24-051. The subject property is located on the east side of Euclid Avenue, 3 lots north of Dewey Avenue and south of Valley Boulevard. The property is approximately 7,400 square feet in size and is currently developed with a one-story, 1,800 square foot single-family residence and a detached two-car garage. The property is zoned Residential Neighborhood Conservation, RNC, within the Valley Boulevard Specific Plan area and designated low-density residential in the general plan. But in other words, the zone maintains the underlining zone, which is R1 in the yellow and R2 with the orange. And to the north, south, east, and west of the subject property are similar zoned properties. The proposed project is an approximate 1,000 square foot second-story addition to the existing single-family residence, maintaining the existing two-car garage, and then constructing a new detached one-car garage at the rear of the property in order to meet the parking requirement for the additional bedrooms as part of the second-story addition. This project also includes converting an existing portion of the existing house on the ground floor, approximately 737 square feet, to an ADU. And per state law, an ADU is reviewed ministerially and is not a part of the DRC's review this evening. However, it is within an existing portion of the house. And aside from the interior changes, no alterations are proposed to the exterior. The proposed house is designed in a minimal traditional style and was reviewed by the city architect and city staff for consistency with the design guidelines. The image on the slide is the rendering of the project above the existing single-family house. The table here, it shows the proposed project is designed within the development standards allowed for the zone, and the proposed project is within the height limits, as well as setbacks, lot coverage, and floor area ratio. And the ADU component of the project is exempt in the calculation, again, per state law. As part of the requirement, an analysis of surrounding properties within 300 square feet is required to show two-story and single-family residence, and within the radius, there are 6 existing two-story single-family homes, and that's been provided as part of Attachment D. The project was reviewed for general plan consistency. It's consistent with the housing goal to facilitate for housing development for a range of housing types, and also community design goals to create an expectation that San Gabriel is designed with high-quality design, as well as a design that lives and breathes with neighborhoods. The project was also reviewed per the California Environmental Quality Act, and the project is determined to be exempt under Section 15303, Class 3, for new construction or conversion of small structures. Also, noticing of the project was provided on the property, also mailed to adjacent properties within the radius. Notice was published in the San Gabriel Sun, and the agenda was posted at City Hall, the post office, library, and the city's website. The recommendation before the commission this evening is to adopt the attached resolution of the Design Review Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number SPR 24-051 for a new second-story addition to the existing single-family residence at 1726 Euclid Avenue, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. And this concludes the staff's presentation.
Thank you very much, Sam. Let's see if we have any questions for staff. Commissioner Zhang?
Just a quick question for staff. The entire roofing is all new? Everything new and old, existing, everything?
Yes, Commissioner Chang, that would likely be the case. The designer is present this evening, but seeing that the second floor is proposed on top of the existing residence, that would likely be the only way for the replacement of the roof.
Correct, but what we want to be careful is sometimes this kind of roofing cannot be matched with some different color, and it's going to look very awkward when you got two different color or similar but not the same. So consider the amount of construction being done. Maybe it should be the correct conditions to make sure that they re-roof the entire building so that they look consistent.
Yes, staff understands. The applicant can also comment during their time.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Lopez?
None, thank you.
Vice Chair Salem?
One question for staff. I'm sorry if this is answered in the package, but my question is, the new one-car detached garage, is that a requirement, or is that just something that's proposed?
That's a requirement.
Thank you.
And then I noticed in the landscape plan, it doesn't have a lot of details regarding the planting materials. So I'm assuming that you don't have it someplace in your back pocket. So if we were to approve this tonight, it would have to go back to the city's landscape architect, so we have details on that. I also have a question. It looks like there is a air conditioning unit in the front of the house on the right side, just left of that window. So they're proposing to keep that air conditioning unit?
That would have to be answered by the architect.
Okay. And then, Ron, do you have any comments regarding this?
Madam Chair, I had the opportunity to review this 4 times. There were a lot of really awkward things, a lot of drafting errors, and so all these things have been fixed for the most part. But I do see in my notes, the last notes, that applicant said to see landscape sheets L1 and L2, but they weren't included in my package, so I've never seen the landscape.
Yeah. They have some information regarding landscaping, but the plants in several areas are not called out. It's just kind of general, a drawing, that says, oh, we'll put plants at the parkway, we'll have shrubs and palms in front of the house, we'll have, low shrubs in the backyard and fruit trees. So there's not details with types and quantities. So I think that's kind of where my question's coming. Okay. If we don't have any other questions for staff, then I'd like to invite the applicant to come forward.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I want to thank you, City Architect Zhang and Samantha. They helped us to make several revisions about the plan. Yes, the owner is a senior couple. They live in the house for, I think, almost 30 years. And because they are getting aged, so why they are building the second floor is because they wanted to invite their eldest son family moving back to taking care of them. So they're gonna move into the ADU, and their son's family have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. They are going to live in the main house. So we are proposing the second story addition. Yes, I think all the roof, because even we try to match the existing roof color, but due to sunshine or weather, the color is very hard to be exactly. So I think we're gonna make a notes on the plan. So all the roof will be replaced during the construction. Yes.
I'm satisfied with the roofing note, but I think the applicant may want to address the landscape part that you have mentioned.
So we'll get to my questions. Will Commissioner Lopez? Okay. Vice Chair Salo?
No questions for applicant.
Okay. The question in addition to the landscape ones, that air conditioning unit,
Okay.
that's being proposed to remain?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think we need to add additional unit. I plan to put in between the attached garage and the existing garage. There's a landscaping area.
Yeah. I think that there are different ways to address air conditioning, especially when you're looking at the front of the house. There's a significant investment that's being made, and now with the mini split, you don't need to have something in front of the house that looks like this. The addition is a significant expense that the owner's doing, and we appreciate them doing such an investment in the community. But I think leaving that air conditioning unit in front is a little short-sighted, because you can have plant materials, you can do so much more than having that air conditioning unit. And it probably is older, and it's probably at the end of its lifespan. They leak, they make a mess, they're noisy. They can definitely do better than having that unit in front. So, do you have more information regarding the landscape plan?
The landscape plan,
Because there's something in our packet.
we have 2 pages of
It's
landscape.
L1.
L2.
But here, it says parkway plants, and it doesn't call anything out. It says shrubs and palms in front, but it doesn't call anything out. It does call out the turf, and then in the side yard, it calls for hedge plants. We don't know what kind they are. So when we're looking at water calculations and all of that, this is not sufficient for that. And then it also talks about citrus and fruit trees, and that doesn't say how many, what type. So there are some things that are missing. It does have partial information, but having these things, especially with the parkway, because it's called out that you cannot leave, you need to have planted materials. And my fellow commissioners know, I always make comments, especially on parkway plant materials, because cars are parked on the other side of that driveway. So if the plant materials are shrubs, if you're a passenger in a car, you can't get out. If you're putting a baby in the car, you have to move the car to the driveway or something different. So those are things that at least I look for, because I've been a passenger in cars and I've been irritated by plant materials not letting me come in and out of the car and doing extra work there. So I do think that the landscape plan is incomplete. And, yes,
And I hadn't seen this, but looking at the picture, I think their intention is to keep the front yard the way it is. Because I think what I'm seeing is, this is that.
yeah. But it doesn't say it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the parkway is something that it does say they need to do plant material there.
Is that
And-
an actual picture, or is it
It's a natural picture.
Yeah.
The front yard is exactly like this. Also, for the side yard, the hedge plants, they are smaller like this. I
Yeah.
have been there.
So if we approve this, it would definitely need to, like with the project before, work with the landscape architect, but that's something that I'm going to, if we're going to be pushing it to the landscape architect, I'm going to ask that the plant material be broken up to allow for passengers to get in and out of the cars along the sidewalk, because people do park on the sidewalk. And then, Ron, you're okay with the design?
Well, the front house is existing, so the addition is primarily in the rear, and the front house is a very simple design. So I think the rear house is also a very simple design, so it's compatible in my eyes. Again, I'd never seen the landscape plan, but I think their intention is, the front is the front, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with you about the air conditioning. I didn't notice that before, but that's a very good comment. And it seems if they're going to make this kind of investment, they'll probably have a new air conditioning system, especially the ground floor is going to be divided into 2 units, so I think it makes sense.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? All right. Okay, then you can sit down.
Thank you.
Do we have any comments from the public?
No.
Okay. So it is now 7:39 and the time for public comment. I'm closing, the time for public comment has now ended, and the hearing is now closed, and it's our turn to deliberate. I'll start with Commissioner Zhang.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple design project, so I don't have anything more than what we have discussed. I'm satisfied with that additional note that the entire project has new roofing throughout, based on what was being presented and indicated on the plan, so that the project, by the time it finishes, it looks complete. And I'm sure with that, all of that, they're going to make sure that the color of the exterior wall to be consistent too. So either by painting or by finished coat of the stucco, the entire project should have the same finish and color and texture on the stucco. That would be something that I just want to make sure that the applicant understand that. So with that said, I can approve the project with the landscaping addition that you were mentioning.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
I would like to see, maybe this was the appropriate, I'd like to see some landscaping plans that are complete when the applicant. It's very difficult to, again, we keep deferring things, but it's not necessarily either gonna look like or be what we think were like the broken bone and watering down. My concern is that even though the city and staff and the landscaping architect has the best intent, things may get, either watered down or left behind. And so that's my concern. So it's one of my questions for staff is what is coming here a requirement that we do this, or are we not requiring this, or from the applicant, or does the applicant kind of say, well, I'll wing it and see if it goes through, or, so that's a general question, not pertaining to this particular case. In this particular case, I'd like to see the city monitor or the process along with this landscaping architect to ensure that, that things are compliant, at least to the comments that we're making here, and also that the AC unit gets either moved or relocated or something, if they're gonna put 2 units or one unit with zoning, whatever that would be. So those are my comments.
Thank you. Vice Chair Salo?
Yeah, I agree with the AC unit, and we're picking on that AC unit. I'm sure that compressor is going to last forever, but I don't think it's energy
No, they
efficient.
don't.
Well, the new ones for sure, they don't
Yeah.
last. They're not going to last 5 years, but those old metal ones, they don't seem to ever give up. But this probably time for this one to go. The second comment is the security bars on that front window. I mean, I'd like to see them go. I don't know if we can require it, but yeah, those are my comments. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I those security bars, that's what, I was like, Then I saw the AC unit, double thing. See,
Actually, Ron, is that an egress issue if it's fixed?
Well, I think in their proposal, that's a dining room. So you don't need a egress
okay.
window from a dining room.
I think one of them is a bedroom in the new proposal, isn't it? There is a bedroom kind of in that porch area.
Their drawings don't show any bars, but, and I don't know, are there bars in that window in the entry alcove? I can't tell. That is a bedroom. But I can't tell if there's bars there.
It kind of looks like it might be the same, because there's some dark shadows in there.
If the bars are not operable, then if it blocks the required exit out, then building department should catch that during the inspection. It has to be something that they can get out in case of fire. Even with the security bar, they need to open up and get out. So I think we can make a note that all security bar should meet the fire department escape requirement. That way we let building department plan check it, make sure the inspector will check those. Because it's hard to figure it out now. We don't have the drawing, we don't know where the bars are, you don't know what the operation is. It could be a co-violation at this point in time.
It does have some kind of bars on it.
Right, but are they operable in case of fire?
I don't know.
And so maybe the applicant could either remove the bars or meet
Meet
the fire department rules, building safety rules.
Aesthetically, of course, without the bar, it's much cleaner, and
Yeah,
we don't encourage that. It should not be having bars throughout the whole city.
no, no.
This could be a condition that the bars are to be removed. If they want it, they need to get the building and safety department approving it.
So Vice Chair Sala, would you prefer removal or go with the minimum?
I think we just recommend removal.
Okay.
But require compliance.
Right, okay, makes sense.
You know, just from my picture here, it looks like not like typical kind of iron bars. It looks kind of like turned wood, like spindles or pickets or something.
Yeah, so they would need to be able to
Get out.
open out.
In case of fire, can they get out?
So if it's attached with nails or something, that might be more problematic, because it's not like a shutter, unless it's built like a shutter.
Right.
As Vice Chair said, it has to meet the requirement.
Yeah.
Has to meet the requirement.
Yeah.
By the way, on this picture, the air conditioning has a big stain underneath it, like it's been leaking. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the best. They're not the best. Okay. So we're looking, I'm going to repeat a few things. We're looking at repainting and/or restuccoing the entire house, first and second floor. We're looking at also re-roof of the entire house, so the old and the new. We're looking at removing that front AC unit. We're recommending that the front bars or the bars on the house be removed, because we don't know if there's other bars besides what we see right now. But if security bars, if they have to be there for some reason, we will need to make sure that they meet fire code rules. For the landscaping, that needs to be more completed. working with the landscape architect to confirm if the front is just staying as is, and also the back and the side. With the new plant material on the parkway, there needs to be a break in the plant material for passenger loading and unloading. I think that's all right. So with that, if there's a motion,
I move to approve the project with the additional condition mentioned just now.
so,
Second.
okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Chang,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez. Yes. Vice Chair Salo,
Yes.
Madam Chair Romo.
Yes. Okay. Motion passes. Comments from the planning manager?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Just two comments this evening. First is the introduction of Eileen Sosa. This is her first week with the department, and right off the bat, Monday night meeting. She is the department's new administrative assistant, and Damian Sanchez is now the department's executive assistant, so he hasn't left, he's just moved up a rung. So we congratulate him and we welcome Eileen. And then the second item is there was an unexpected vacancy in the Planning Commission. So applications are being accepted at the city clerk's office for a position on the Planning Commission. Applications are due by the end of this week. And again, applications are available online only. So whoever has interest, if they can submit an application, because it's an important position to break those quorums. So anybody who's interested, if they can apply. And that's it for staff's comments.
Thank you. Are there any commissioner comments on conferences, meetings, or reports? No? Great. Then I will adjourn this meeting to our next regular Design Review Commission meeting on Monday, February 23rd, 6:30 here at City Hall, 425 South Mission Drive, second floor, council chambers, and it's now 7:52. Thank you very much. Good night.